Hey, Retcon Raider here. Well, January has officially come to an end, which means that I've now been running a YouTube channel for just over 9 months. Just 3 more to go and I'll reach my 1-year anniversary. Overall, January was another decent month for the channel, despite the usual array of complications. Looking back over the past few weeks, it looks like I managed to upload a total of 31 new videos, which meets my self-imposed goal of 1 video per day. Granted, quality does vary pretty widely on some of the videos. It's a work in progress. So, let's take a quick look at the numbers, shall we? According to the analytics, my channel gained a total of roughly 78,000 views and 335 new subscribers over the past month. That's a roughly 10% increase over the numbers we saw in December, which is great news, because it means the channel is still continuing to build up momentum. At this point, I'm gaining an average of just over 10 subscribers per day, which seems crazy to me. I have no real illusions about my ability to entertain. Let's be honest here. I've got a halfway decent voice, combined with the delivery style of an automated customer service hotline. There's a lot of room for improvement, but the fact that so many people still end up watching my videos just blows my mind. Unfortunately, despite the steadily climbing numbers, the channel's ad revenue has continued to drop off pretty sharply. If anything, this month is the worst one yet, because even though most of my numbers trended upwards 10%, my actual ad revenue is down by almost 50%. Now, you've heard all of this before, so I won't really spend much time on it. As usual, YouTube is continuing to have issues that are basically destroying my ability to earn any significant ad revenue. Thankfully, the Patreon has really continued to help in that regard. I say it a lot, but it always bears repeating. My patrons really do help keep the channel running because their money goes right towards paying for a lot of my production expenses. This brings us to something I did want to take a moment to address: YouTube's new monetization requirements. With all the recent controversy, YouTube made the decision last month to drastically increase the requirements that a channel needs to meet in order to remain monetized. Apparently, it's caused a lot of collateral damage and it's taken down a lot of smaller channels. As a result, I've had more than a few folks ask me if my channel is going to remain monetized. And after checking the numbers, I'm pleasantly surprised to say yes. Even though I'm still a ridiculously small channel in the grand scheme of things, and I still have no idea what I'm doing half the time, I've somehow managed to pull together enough of a following to exceed the new requirements by a pretty wide margin. Of course, I am still having issues with monetization in general, and the current ad rates are pretty abysmal, but at least I don't have to worry about YouTube shutting off my ads entirely. Thank goodness for small favors. And who knows, maybe some good will come out of all of this, and YouTube will finally get their act together. At any rate, I think that's about enough of that. Let's move on to something more pleasant. Looking back over the numbers, it looks like my most popular videos this month were my latest analyses of the Phoenix Point fiction, which is nice because I really do love talking about that stuff. Of course, we're going to be spending a lot more time talking about Phoenix Point over the next couple of months, because we're just weeks away from seeing all sorts of new information about the game. This month alone, we'll be getting another AMA with Julian Gollop, a new collection of short stories, and a new playable demo. Aside from Phoenix Point, my Pillars of Eternity 2 series has also continued to perform pretty well. I'll probably be finishing the beta series in just 1 or 2 more episodes, but I may end up revisiting the full game when it comes out in April. And speaking of finishing things, well, it's about a month overdue, but we're finally coming up on the end of our long-running War of the Chosen series. Looking back on it, there are definitely a few things I wish I had handled a bit differently, but overall, I think I'm quite happy with how it all turned out. I've learned a lot while making this series, and I'm hoping I can use that to make even better videos in the future. With the series coming to an end this weekend, that means it's finally time to start playing some Darkest Dungeon. I'm still not sure exactly how to best approach a series about Darkest Dungeon, but given how well my Shieldbreaker video has done, I have to at least try. I think my biggest concern about a game like Darkest Dungeon is the mandatory Iron Man mode. I don't mind playing a game on Iron Man mode in my personal time, but that changes a bit when I'm trying to make videos. I'm still pretty new to a lot of this, and the last thing I want to do is ruin a potential episode by accidentally messing up an audio or video recording. I'm also a bit concerned about how repetitive the game can get, and it doesn't help that I'm more than a little rusty when it comes to playing Darkest Dungeon, but we'll see how it goes. I'll be playing the game on Radiant mode to keep things moving at a relatively decent pace. I'll also be relying on you guys to give me suggestions or pointers to hopefully help me improve the series as we work our way through the first few episodes together. Now, much like with my other Let's Plays, I'll probably be aiming for about 30 minutes per episode. I'll also be rearranging my current production schedule a little in hopes of providing a slightly wider variety of videos. There are a lot of games I'd like to talk about in the future, and I can't really do that if I have a single game dominating my production schedule on a weekly basis, like War of the Chosen was. Although it's certainly not set in stone, my current plan is to release a new episode of Battle Brothers every Monday and Thursday, a new episode of Darkest Dungeon every Tuesday and Friday, and some sort of scripted video every Wednesday. That way, I can keep the weekend slots free for things like game reviews, overviews of new projects, or Let's Play videos about games that have recently caught my eye. Speaking of which, I do have over 100 other strategy and role-playing games on my current watch list, so I'll be checking to see if any of them might make for interesting weekend videos. Of course, if you have any suggestions about games that you think I might be interested in, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'm always happy to check out new games. I just wish I had enough time and money to make videos about them all. Anyway, I think it's about that time again, so let's start winding things down. As usual, I'd like to close out by saying thanks to all of my viewers for their continued support. Every time you watch one of my videos or click on the like or subscribe button, you're helping the channel grow, and I truly appreciate that. I'd also like to give a big shout out to my patrons, the folks who have continued to help me make videos about the games that I love to play. So, special thanks to my Honorary Raiders, James Trimmier, Mark Richards, Purge, Stjepan Lovasić, and Woe77. And extra special thanks to my Veteran Raiders, Mildly Nuclear, Nazzul, Rowan Church, Sir Skelibate, Laura, and Mike. You guys are all great. I really wouldn't be able to keep doing this without your support. This is Retcon Raider, signing off. Thanks for listening. Oh, and remember, if you've got any questions or comments, you can contact me through the comment section on any of my videos, or you can reach me through my new Facebook page, my new Patreon account, or my official email. Links are in the description.